Hey, welcome back to Right on the Money, providing you and your family the necessary information you need to make informed financial decisions. Now, in case you're just joining us, our guest today, Matthew Gallagher, certified financial planner of Gallagher Financial Group, and we've been having a great conversation talking about Matthew's new book. Got it right here, Greener Pastures from Bombay and Boston to the Bulls and Bears. This book is available on Amazon.com. I highly, highly recommend it. Matthew, great book. I got to tell you, I love it. Full of stories, not boring. My biggest takeaway from your book is that I love the stories. I've learned things actually made sense to me, and it did not put me to sleep.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So
now, speaking of stories that are in the book, so there is a chapter, but you had a very terrifying incident in your life, something that as a dad and a husband, you know, you worry about this.
Sure.
But tell us a little bit. The chapter title is How to Stay Alive During a Break-In.
It's funny looking back now. And actually, honestly, digging into it, it's not that funny, but it's one of those things where you look at it and you're just like, wow, so many things had to go right. And I'll just tease it here if you don't mind, and instead of going in deep detail, but bottom line is, what happened, I'm running late for work. I mean, again, so many things had to fall into place. I'm running late for work, and I'm jumping in the shower, and the wife comes screaming at me, someone's breaking in the house.
I would never want to hear those words.
No. And it takes me a second. I mean, you just hear this screaming from her. And then as I'm opening the shower door, because I'd started the water and I hadn't even gotten all the way in yet, and I'm opening the door, as it's sinking in, I'm hearing the alarm going crazy, because we have a home alarm. Mm-hmm. And it's going crazy, and the wife's there. And of course, this time we've got I don't know, they're like 5 and 2, 4 and 1, roughly, at that time, little, the kids. Yeah. So they're not even, you literally have to, you can't even tell them to run with you or something. So she's screaming. Again, thank God, it was a weekday. Thank God I was late for work, or she would have been dealing with this by herself. So I take off down the stairs. You know, I scream at her to call 911, and I take off down the stairs to go face this would-be intruder.
This adversary.
I've got to, you defend your family. And as I get down the stairs, I realize, oh shoot, what am I going to do? So I grab the closest thing, and there's like a little souvenir bat.
One of those little...
Oh, yeah, like the ones you'd buy at a little baseball game. And I mean, again, you're just not thinking, because you don't expect this to happen, and I wasn't prepared. It's a key word, but we'll get back to. Grab the bat, yelling at her. She calls the police. She tells them what I'm wearing. And so, hey, my husband's wearing red shorts, literally red shorts. That was it. And I'm ready to face this intruder, and then I realized that I'm probably going to be a goner with a little bat. I mean, it's sinking in, everything's sinking in at once. But I ended up opening the door, and where I'll stop the story, you'll have to get the book to find out what happens. Yep. Stop the store, run out. The police have pulled up diagonal on our house with multiple cars. And they're, and I'm like, come on in. And I'm holding the bat, and I'm saying, get in here, because the person's trying to come through the back. And it sinks in that their guns are pointed at me.
At you.
At me. And as it sinks in, the alarm's blaring, and as it sinks in, there's a guy standing there with shorts, nothing else on, but shorts, holding a bat, waving the police at him, while their guns are pointed at him. And yeah, so
laughing now.
Laughing now wasn't. It was a very, even when as it sunk in, it got even more terrifying. But the point is, it's about being prepared, and you'll hear what happens in the story when you get the book. But it's about being prepared and about what can you do to the tie-in financially, of course, would be protection.
And you know what I think is a great part of that story, and the rest of the story, you have to get the book and read the rest of the story. But one thing I think that is great is you talk about, that you just mentioned, being prepared, and you did have kind of a plan. You had an alarm system.
We had an alarm system, and that's the beauty of it is, so my wife's having to call out, but she's calling out because this is happening real time, and it's happening quickly. Oh, and we're hearing, by the way, the glass smashing. You can hear it smashing, so it's not just, oh, something triggered it. You can hear the glass smashing. You know there's really someone there. But that sense of security, we got an alarm, and if anybody ever, you really think of that when you're gone. You don't think of like being there and someone's trying to get in. So it's that false sense of security. And it's monitored, by the way. Mm-hmm. So people they'll call me if anything goes wrong. So you've got this sense, but is that sense of security, is that enough? In this case, it wasn't near enough.
I would imagine in all the work you've done as a planner that you've met a lot of folks that have, I'm going to do the air quote, that have a plan. They say, Matthew, I have a plan. And when you look at it,
Sure.
Does it stand? Will it stand up to the storm when it's tested?
A lot of cases it won't. And that's why I tell that story. It's that false sense of security. In other words, protection, we're talking about investments, protection looks different to everyone. Mm-hmm. What your idea of protecting your family, your wife, your kids, what that looks like to you is going to look different than me. Doesn't mean we're not trying to protect our families. And when you go through something like that, it even more so increases your awareness, it should, on what protection means to you. And so when we're looking at this on a financial level, you've got your idea and I've got my idea. But let's say we tied this back financially. We've all got our ideas on what that looks like and what we're going to need.
Sure.
And there's Jimbo over here who's meeting with you, and he's having every single person have the same amount of safety. This is a financial planner. Jimbo's a financial planner. And he's, well, that's not going to work. It wouldn't work. Just like an alarm company or whatever the case comes in, everybody's home just does the same thing, because they're going to need different levels. And so that's what I see is as I sit there, what you're telling me may not match what you actually need. The problem is, since you don't understand the terms, you don't understand how all this works, you just trust the guy and I'm sure he knows what he's doing. I told him.
Yeah.
But you don't know how to check up on it. And that's the key.
That is.
How would I check up that was enough? There's no way to check up in my personal life that was enough until there's a break-in, and then I say, oh shoot, we need to do these other things, right? In the same way, sadly, a lot of people don't realize that they're not protected the way they think they are until their 401k becomes a 201k phrase, or something like 01 or 08 happened and they lose half their portfolio. That's a really bad time to find out that what you thought was going to happen wasn't in place.
The alarm system that you thought you purchased.
The alarm system you thought you purchased for your finances. Oh, well, it's going to do this, and if it starts going down, we're going to do... And then you find out, by the way, once you've lost all that money, oh, wait a minute, it wasn't what I thought. That's a really bad time. And one of the questions I like to ask people is, if you're going to run out of money, if your plan's not going to work, if it's not doing what you think it's going to do, because you don't know that until things get bad. If that's going to happen, you're going to run out of money, would you rather know when you're 75 or 80 years old? Or would you rather know today, hey, wait a minute, my plan is just not viable? And that's something I can help you look at and say, I'll tell you honestly, listen, from what you're telling me you're going to do and what you're going to need, you will be out of money. That's something I can help you determine, and I can help basically upgrade your financial alarm system to make sure that it matches, it is catered to you, not just a general one that we hope works at some point.
Absolutely. Coming up on Right on the Money, more with Matthew. We're going to talk about football time and what it means in your family. We're also going to talk a little bit about Matthew Gallagher, the man. We'll be right back after this.